So I am a glutton for punishment, I guess. I went back and started watching more of Intelligence Squared debate on Islam. Islam is a religion of peace for or against. Uh, the one who was for that proposition, young woman named Ziba, uh, said that it was all politics. That's why all this violence is it's politics. It has nothing to do with Islam. So somebody from the audience asked them. He said, "Well, since you say the 1.4 billion Muslims, it's politics, not their religion. Why then do we see such that?" And he addressed. I think he phrased it something like this: that the majority of suicide bombers in the world today are from Muslim countries. What is happening to them politically that's happening to no other religious group uh, that's making them the majority of suicide bombers today? Majority is kind of a weak word, I think. You'd have to say all. Maybe there's some suicide bombers that aren't Muslim. Because it's not politics. I mean, nobody addressed this. Nobody, not even on the side that was against it, they preferred to defer, and the other ones were talking about, I mean, she basically Zeba said nothing. Ian Hersey Ali just said no, I'll pass or whatever. It's because it's the Quran. Now, I don't think suicide bombing is a part of Islam. Uh, it's easily justifiable since you have uh, a religion that says if you die in the cause of Allah, fighting in the cause of Allah, you'll go to heaven. I think it's blended with Marxism, how they got suicide bombing, and it's taken from the Hindu suicide bombers of India when the division between India and Pakistan was happening. Uh, but it's straight from it's a twisted form of Islam, but it's not hard to get there with the Quran. It's extremely hard to get there with Buddhist and Christian teachings. Well, maybe not the Buddhists. The Tamil Tigers are pretty violent, and they've used suicide bombing, and maybe that's where the Muslims got it from. Uh, but as one of the people on there said, you look through the whole New Testament and you get one line in Saint Matthew's Gospel that says, "I have not come to bring peace but a sword," and that's always been understood. And even in the Bible, if you look at the lines before and after it, the sword is coming to the Christian. I'm going to set the sons against the fathers, mother against the brothers. I mean, every Christian throughout time, anywhere, ever, has always seen this as the sword is coming at the Christians. The fathers and the mothers and the daughters will turn against the Christian and persecute them. And it did happen for the next 300 years under Roman rule. Uh, and then even more than that when Julian the Apostate came up as emperor. And we only see a religious Christian state that become hostile to things that is perceived as pagan only after Julian the Apostate. When the Christians took power, uh, or when Constantine took power and then decided to become a Christian and legalize the practice, even him and the emperors after him, there's no persecution of pagans or anything like that. Maybe he redirected fund. No, not him, but his son redirected funds from. Was it his son? Well, the next emperor redirected funds from going to pagan temples and churches, and then it went only to churches. Uh, Islam, right from year one of the Muslim calendar, war. All the peaceful When the peaceful verses are abrogated, it means you're not allowed to follow them. Allah has given you something better or like it. Not better or like it, better and like it. No, better or just like it. Uh, in the last verse we have is Surah 9, where God is no longer merciful and compassionate. You don't have to keep your oaths to the pagans. In fact, if you have a peace treaty with them, now you have to break it. After the peaceful months are over, now you have to break that and go to war with them. And they're not allowed. their own religion. Uh, it's war, and then in Surah 9, the people of the book don't have protected status. Thank the gods that that Muslims didn't come to that conclusion, or continually, and kept considering Muslim or Christians and Jews as people of the book. Uh, but Surah 9 refers to them as mushrikeen. It's because of the Quran, it's because of Muhammad, it's because of Islam. It's not politics. We see people and these other people who are politically oppressed, and even worse, who don't resort to this kind of stuff. It's because Islam gives you the green light, commands you to do it, and it's the peaceful Muslims that have the problem of saying, "Well, no, we need to peaceful. I need to respect my neighbor. We all need to respect everybody else's beliefs," because that wasn't part of it. We can see violence in the Byzantines and the Catholic states and things like this, but that's long after Jesus and the apostles. Uh, I think you can make a good case that that's counter to what the scriptures tell you, counter to the New Testament, counter to everything Christians did for 300 years after Christ. Uh, you can't make that case for Islam, Muhammad carried a sword. The criticism John of Damascus, the first writer about Islam, said was, this prophet wields a sword and spreads his religion with the sword and the chariot. That this prophet fights and beheads people. I think all people should see that as, wow, you can be, and even today there's people who could be holy men. They carry around guns and stuff like this, and uh, something dire happened with the advent of Islam. Now you could be holy and fight in war, command war, and kill, and be oversexed. Whereas before, no. Maybe some parts of India that took place. Bhagavad Gita, but then again, it's a spiritualized text. It didn't really necessarily have to happen. It didn't happen. Not so with the Quran, Hadith, and Sunnah.